Hi everyone, I'm Kate,
I'm YooJin.
and this is our student body president. I'm sure as you know, so we're just going to be asking her a few questions today, kind of checking in on how she's following through with how she ran her campaign and just seeing what she's planning for us this year. Okay, so our first question is, how do you plan on rebuilding the community in the OES upper school now that you are doing in-person school?
I think a big part of that is having in-person gathering finally back together. I think that was a big part of we as community connecting and each grade kind of seeing each other and knowing that we're one group. And luckily, even though we can't continue the tradition of having it in the grade hall, we're able to do that in the athletic center, which is not as great, but I think it's a nice start, and hopefully we can start doing that in the grade hall as the situation gets better.
Definitely. Okay, our next question is, how can the upper school community help support you as our student body president?
Yes, I think the big thing that was brought up last year was students not knowing what's going on in student council, and even though I'm planning to working on it, and I actually have something that I'm going to talk about later. I think being patient and knowing that even though we're not constantly updating you all, that we are always working on something, because I personally think that a lot of the projects that we're working on, they're not very tangible or visible, so it's hard for students who are kind of outside of that little group to be aware and just simply say like, what do you do? But we are always working hard.
Yes, definitely. Okay, our next question is, what was the first change you made as student body president? Or if you haven't made any big changes yet, what's something that you hope to do soon?
Yeah, actually we are starting launching our student input form that's starting from next week. It's a little form that anyone can at any time fill it out, and the student council is going to review it weekly or monthly. That's something that we're going to launch. We're setting up a bulletin board in the grade hall so that students can be updated on what's happening. That's one thing. In the student council, both COBO and POBO. And also we are bringing back the printers October 7th. That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so our fourth question is, one of the main goals you pitched in your campaign was inclusion, meaning hiring more teachers and faculty members of color. How's that going so far, and do you have any plans for this going into the year?
We set up a meeting with Sarah to look into the current policies in terms of hiring teachers, and Sarah did mention that they started hiring more POC last year, which I can tell as well, but I want to make sure that's not one-time thing and that's consistent, so that we're going to look into the policies and make sure if there's any edits that we can make. Yeah, that's the plan for now.
Okay, so our fifth question is, now that you have been elected, do you have any new goals that you want to achieve this year?
Yes, this is something that I've been thinking about since freshman year, but I always thought the dorm is pretty excluded and not that incorporated in the greater upper school community. And I was thinking about like practical ways I can improve the situation. Having like dorm day activities are great, but I don't think they solve the fundamental problem. And I think the first step is publicizing the dorm situation, because I noticed that a lot of people are actually interested. A lot of non-dorm students, or even just anyone, they're interested in what's happening in the dorms, but there's no like continuous source of information that they can track. So I'm thinking if there's a lot of possibilities. We can do like dig articles or just weekly updates, or freshman training. We can briefly mention what the dorm is and how it works. So yeah, that's my plan.
Perfect. Okay, and is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, just let's make this year great.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.